Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Piedmont Unitarian Universalist Church. Piedmont UU sits on the traditional land of the Catawba, Kiowa, and Sugaree peoples. My name is Rhiannon Estwick, and I will be the worship assistant for Reverend Dr. Amy Rio this morning. We are a flourishing, vibrant, and radically welcoming congregation which promotes diversity, inclusion, and social justice. We provide a safe haven for creative intellectual growth, spiritual development, and a deep sense of community for all who join us. We hope our liberal religious values will challenge you to join us as a community that lives boldly and acts justly. To all our visitors and members, we're very glad you're here, in person or with us online, and we hope to see you again. Your presence is a gift to us. Our announcements this Sunday. I invite Linda, one of the co-leads of our social action team, to come forward for an announcement.
Good morning. Good morning. As you know, your social action team has a new focus each quarter. And for the new quarter coming up, our focus is GLBTQ plus rights and reproductive rights. Our first share the plate recipient of the quarter, starting next Sunday for July, is PFLAG. And we're happy to have back from last year Donna Ostrowski, who's the chapter president of the Salisbury Rowan chapter of PFLAG. And she's here to introduce the work of the organization. And in case you haven't noticed, and I don't know if it's arrived yet, but there will be a big red bus standing outside there. It was One Blood for it. You can come and donate blood. We have openings if you'd like to donate and help save a life. Just check in with the bus after the service. Thank you. So Donna?
Thank you, Linda, and welcome to all of you. We're so glad that we're able to come and to share with you guys about what we do. As she said, I'm Donna Ostrowski. I'm the current president of PFLAG Salisbury Rowan. And today I'd like to share a little bit about PFLAG. As many of you may know or not know, the existence of PFLAG is about 50 years old. It is the nation's largest and longest family-based organization committed to supporting, educating, and advocating for LGBTQ plus people and those who love them. Thanks to one parent, Jean Monford, in 1973, who decided to march in the Christopher Street Parade, and that was the first actual parade in New York City, the Pride Parade. And she supported her gay son. So many parents in the New York State area started asking her for counsel. Even during the parade, she had kids come up to her and say, please, can you talk to my mom? Can you talk to my family? And so that's why PFLAG got started. And like I said, for over 50 years, we have been where LGBTQ plus people, their families, and their allies come together in pursuit of justice, affirmation, and acceptance. And we always lead with love. In 2006, Mike Clausen started our chapter in Salisbury and Rowan County to help parents to support their LGBTQ kids. We serve surrounding counties like Davie, Davidson, Iredell, and Stanley. And we host events like Pride, Chickweed, the Arts Council, and Lee Street Theater, in just any way that we can to get our word out to say we're here for them. And we advocate for equal rights. We offer peer support group meetings, which is the fourth Thursday of the month in Salisbury at our UUC church. We educate through speaking engagements just like this and community events. We also recognize educators and school staff through the Bob Johnson Faculty Advocacy Award since 2016. But our scholarship program is the main focus of us. We have awarded $1,000 checks to over 130 Rowan County students, and whether they're LGBTQ or they can be a straight ally, and that's over the last 17 years. And yesterday I was able to give eight, I think, or nine, I can't remember. There's been so many scholarships, and it is just truly rewarding to see these kids and be able to help them flourish in their education. In today's environment, our children, friends, and family members are persecuted and bombarded with hurtful and harmful speech and legislation, speech that is hateful. And I believe it is our obligation to let our voices be heard anytime we can help others to understand a little bit more about the LGBTQ plus community. We are truly leading with love and making a difference. I love making a difference in my community and other communities, as I have two trans sons. And so it means a lot when I have people come up to me and say, thank you for doing what you're doing. And we thank you. We could not do it without our donors, like yourselves, that keep us focused and standing up for our friends and family and for what's right. You are truly making a difference and sharing Jesus' love and ministry. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Donna. In further announcements for today, the office will be closed on Friday, July 4th for the holiday. And for other important information about our vibrant community, please see your order of service, or if you are on our email list, please check our monthly newsletter and weekly announcements. Whatever brought you to this place at this hour, we welcome you. May you find something that you need, and may you leave richer in spirit than when you arrived.
Good morning. It's wonderful to be back with you out after I was away last Sunday. I want to offer thanks to Rhiannon for guest preaching last week. Did a wonderful job for those of y'all who were here or have looked on the live stream. So thank you, Rhiannon. And I also want to offer special thanks to Elaine, who is our guest musician today while Ann's on vacation. And we really appreciate your leadership with this. I invite us to hear now these words from Tracy Johnson. We kindle our chalice flame this morning, awakening the fire of our ancestors in our hearts. Beacon of freedom held out to light the way. Light of reason illuminating the path. Spark of courage igniting our spirits. Aglow with hope for all we endeavor to do together. Holy flame of times past, brighten this present moment, that we may be the love that is our center and our foundation both. Blessed be. Please join me now in singing the words to lighting our chalice, the symbol of our faith.
Just in the search for justice, may we be loving, and in loving, may we find peace. Friends all gathered round, there's just one thing to say. What brings us together here has blessed us all today. Love has drawn its circle and it holds us all inside. Where friends are as family and loneliness can't hide. So give yourself to love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and the laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. You know, love is born in time and is planted like a tree. Love can't give us everything, but it gives us what we need. Love comes when we're ready. Love comes when we're afraid. It is our greatest teacher and the best friend we have made. So let us give ourselves to love, if love is what we're after. Let's open up our hearts to the tears and the laughter, and give ourselves to love. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love.
I invite us now to please rise in body or spirit for our call to worship found in your bulletin. Let us now join in this together. Gathering again this morning, we reflect on freedom. As we have crossed the threshold of our church doors, we leave behind whatever binds us. We shake off limitations of our spirits, and we embrace the divine light that calls us to be far more than we could ever imagine. We open our arms and minds and hearts to welcome the soaring spirit which lifts us up to heights unknown. May it be so. Amen. Our opening hymn is on page 407 of our gray hymnal. We're going to sit at the welcome table. Thank you. Please be seated. And Miss Madia is also on vacation this week, so Miss Sue is going to help us with our Time for All Ages, and we invite any of our young ones to please come forward.
Next week, we are going to be celebrating our freedom and our independence here in America. lately I've been thinking of some words I heard when I first started teaching. Sometimes when it's most difficult to love is when you need to love the most. So I want to share a book with you about our beautiful country and remind us how much we love our democracy and our freedom.
Yeah, Nicole,
It needs to be right in here.
microphone straight on to the mouth.
They have this problem in the past. So, I have a pop-up book. It's like a piece of art called America the Beautiful. And I want to share it with you today and look at all the beautiful things about our country. And here are the words to the song. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies. And this is the Golden Gate Bridge. For amber waves of grain. And this is a field in Iowa, the Great Plains. For purple mountains' majesty, this is Mount Rushmore. Above the fruited plains, and this is Mesa Verde in Colorado. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and this is the Mississippi River. And crowned thy good with brotherhood, and this is our capital, the reflecting pool. From sea to shining sea. This is the Statue of Liberty. You recognize that? Yeah? What does that mean to you, the Statue of Liberty? What that means? It's kind of a tough question. Well, the Statue of Liberty is there to welcome people to America and say, bring us all the people that want to come live here and be free. And right now, I don't know if you guys have ever heard this song, but I'm going to ask everybody to sing it for you so you can hear this song. It's the same words as the book. So I'm going to play a little introduction, and then if you all, I'm sure you all know the words.
Battery 5. Connected to Galaxy S9.
How much we miss him.
Thank you so much, Miss Sue, and thank you. And we will sing out the children now. So.
As we leave this friendly place, love and light to every face. May the kindness which we learn light our hearts till we return.
point in the service, we enter into a time for ritual and sacred sharing where we can share joys and sorrows, and concerns and milestones. So this week we light a candle first in observance of Pride this month. We light a candle for Susan B. with her ongoing health concerns. For all people impacted by ICE raids. For a cease to the hostilities with Iran. With all who are suffering in Gaza and for the immediate relief of these conditions. For all areas of violence around the world, especially Haiti, the Sudan, the Middle East, and the war in Ukraine. And for our country, that we might continue to work towards creating a society which brings out the best of us and is filled with love and empathy, civil rights and justice for all people. Now, at this time, you are invited to come forward as you feel called to do so. I invite you to come forward along the far wall. We have our prayer stand, and you may fill out a prayer card to place on that stand. You may light your own candle of joy or concern, and Rhiannon will help you with that. Or you may place stones in our shared water together.
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Pray with me, pray with me, pray with me, oh
We now light a few more candles for the things we hold in our hearts which remain unspoken, and also for those who are joining us virtually to honor what is in their hearts as well. At this point, we will have a period for quiet rest, meditation, or prayer. I will sound the singing bowl, and then during this time of silence, I invite you to deepen your breath, settle more fully into your seat, close your eyes if that's comfortable, and then to envision the things that you have placed on yourself which constrain you. It may be our own expectations for ourselves, or ways that we undervalue ourselves. Anything that is keeping us from the freedom to soar and to grow into who we are truly meant to be. So during this time, I invite you to envision that you are releasing these things which bind you, that you are throwing them off, that you're unfurling your own wings so that you might soar free.
Today's wisdom reading is the poem, Perhaps It Would Eventually Erode, But, by Rosemerry, Wahtola, Trommer. That rock that we have been pushing up the hill, that one that keeps rolling back down and we keep pushing back up, what if we stopped? We are not Sisyphus. This rock is not a punishment. It's something we've chosen to push. Who knows why? I look at all the names we once carved into its sedimentary sides. How important I thought they were, those names. How I've clung to labels, who's right, who's wrong, how I've cared about who's pushed harder and who's been slack. Now all I want is to let the rock roll back to where it belongs, which is wherever it lands. And you and I could, imagine, walk unencumbered, all the way to the top and walk and never stop except to discover what our hands might do if for once they were no longer pushing.
Thank you, Rhiannon. So today we are wrapping up our series on freedom during this month. Now we have explored the basics of the spirituality of freedom, as well as how we discover freedom in connection to others. Now for today, we're talking about how we can embody spiritual freedom, so much so that we can actually soar and stop pushing up that rock, up that mountain, just like Sisyphus. Now, as a teen, there was one passage from the Hebrew Scriptures which I particularly connected with and just really felt connected with my soul. It's from Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. But those who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Now, as active as I was in church, I don't remember hearing the verse from that setting. Where I do remember hearing the verse is from the Academy Award-winning 1981 movie Chariots of Fire. Who else remembers that movie? Yes, fantastic movie, based on a true story. It was set in 1924, and it was about two young British athletes who were runners in the 1924 Olympics. Now, one of the men was a very devout religious Scotsman named Eric Liddell. He was the son of missionaries and who would later spend his life as a missionary in China. And I read a biography on him after the movie, too. It was fascinating. Now, a poignant scene in that movie is when Liddell is preaching about his love of running and his desire to run for the glory of God. Running let his soul, his spirit, soar. And he quotes Isaiah from the passage that we just heard. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. He was talking about letting his soul, letting his spirit soar, living into the best of who he was meant to be. Now this movie, it's a wonderful movie. If you haven't seen it, I encourage you to watch it. It's filled with scenes of these young Olympians running and soaring, flying to victory, and living more fully into who they were meant to be, no matter the obstacles that were placed before them. Learning to soar, learning to fly like an eagle with the wind lifting us so that we can soar through the air with the beauty of creation surrounding us. Now, it's a great image. Hopefully all of us can see that in our mind right now. Now, all of us want our spiritual journey to be as beautiful and as easy and as aspiring as this image. But we all know when it comes to the day-to-day, our many responsibilities, the things that we have placed upon us, the things that we place upon ourselves, that it can seem like an impossible dream at times, can it? That image of soaring like an eagle can feel like a fantasy. We are so weighed down by so much that constrains us, so much that we are pushing up that mountain continually. Instead of soaring through the air, it can feel like we are crawling on the ground. Now, with people who are familiar with a tarot deck and images, there's one card that as I was preparing for this sermon, I kept thinking, oh, it's just like this image. And it's the Devil card, if any of you have seen that. And of course, it's a frightening looking card. The traditional deck shows this terrifying kind of devil-like horned creature, and then two humans, male and female, who are chained to the box on which the creature sits. Yet the interesting thing is that the chains around the neck of the humans, they're actually quite big. Big enough that they could easily be removed. The Devil card isn't necessarily about a figure of evil or of other people restraining us. It's about the constraints that we place on ourselves or that we leave on ourselves without removing. It's about the way that we let constraints remain upon us when all we have to do is take our hands and lift them off. Now, of course, this is much easier said than done. This is a lifetime of practice, going through the day-to-day. So I'd like for us to think about what ways have we created our own prisons? How do we limit our souls, our spirits, who we are truly meant to be? How do we limit ourselves, our whole bodies, along our spiritual journey? What keeps us crawling on the ground or pushing a big rock up a mountain instead of soaring through the clouds? I'd like to share just a couple steps of ways that we can start to begin, or perhaps if we've already been doing some of this in our lives, that we can continue along this path to help free our spirits to soar. Now, the first thing I invite you to do sometime during these coming days is to make a list of how your spirit or your soul feels limited. Think of ways, both big and small, because sometimes being limited is really just a number of small things which have added up to one really big thing. Now, instead of writing a list, I like to write lists myself, and then I can check them off or just really mark through them big time, so I feel like I've accomplished something. But instead of doing a list, you might have a more creative bent, where you might want to use some images or snippets of poems, or maybe even make a Spotify playlist. Things that speak to the limitations that exist for you. Now, it's not always easy to imagine what it is that binds us, the ways that we feel constrained or restless or not at peace. So if perhaps you start to spend some time on this and the words aren't coming on the paper or on your phone, however you may type, or if you can't even think of images, I ask you perhaps to think about what it would feel like to soar like the eagle through the clouds. What would that look like in your life? Now, when I think about that for myself, I think of one small thing. I think I'd like to be able to meditate, at least 30 minutes every evening before I go to bed. And I use my Insight Timer app, pretty much every day. But I also know what limits me from doing this. I find so many ways to fill my time every evening, sometimes to waste my time, until at the end of the day, when I am so tired, 10 minutes seems to be the most I can manage. I could turn off the junkie TV show, right? There's some really good junkie TV shows on right now. I could put the phone down. I don't have to look at the news that evening. There are so many things I could do just to take an extra 20 minutes to do something I know, this image I have in my life of what allow me to soar. So our vision of soaring and understanding what limitations we place on ourselves, those things go hand in hand. Secondly, I invite us to spend some time with our inner child. Imagine yourself as a child and have a conversation, and let that child speak to you about whatever dreams they have for their spirit, for the way they want to live out their journey through the world. I'm sure some of us, if we think hard enough, we can remember some of the dreams that we had from childhood. Times when it seemed like the world was unlimited. Now, when we speak to ourselves, let's remember to speak to ourselves with kindness and encouragement and love. Not, well, you could have done this or you should have done this. But think about how we treat the children we encounter in our own lives. We want to support them and encourage them, give them grace and creativity and love, instead of doing would have, should have, could have. So let's speak to our own selves that way and truly hear from ourselves, because the dreams of the ways that we can soar, it's never too late for us to start to embody those. So as we think about the limitations we've placed on ourselves, let's spend some time this week trying to remember these childhood dreams, the ways our spirits are meant to soar. Let our inner child speak to us and allow that inner divine light to flame up and glow. And lastly, let's take action. Dreaming is great. Thinking through these things with our minds, those are great things. But there's always time, and the necessary movement is to take action. Now, as your dreams start to come more to light after some reflection and some conversation with your inner child, think of one specific way that your soul can truly soar, that you can become more fully what creation and divine presence has intended for you. One way that you can grow more fully into who you are truly meant to be. Now, after thinking of that one specific thing that you'd like to encourage in your life, decide what action you will take. Now, it could be a big action, it could be a small action, but any little thing that we do gets us moving, not just physically, but it gets us moving with our spirits. Now, it might be doing something like a small ritual, perhaps lighting a candle to symbolize a dream coming to light. It might be spending a few moments each day saying out loud the way that you intend for your spirit to soar. It might be writing the intention in a journal, or coming up with a theme song, a song that you hear that seems to embody what your dream is, and listening to that theme song. Perhaps creating a small collage of images that represent how your soul can soar. Or having a conversation with another person who can encourage you, or perhaps even help you to take steps to achieve and embody your dream. Maybe even going to a workshop or a class that will give you some skills or ideas so that you can embody the dream. Now, any number of little steps will turn into big steps. As we think about freedom, and we'll be thinking about freedom a lot more in the coming days, this thing I know, our spirits were truly meant to soar, to live into the fullest of who we are meant to be. Every single one of us and all the people we meet, our spirits are meant to soar. Now, the chalice that we have before us, each time that we gather, this chalice reminds us of that divine flame within us, a flame that is not meant to be shuttered, but that is meant to grow and to provide light for the world around us. There is enough in this world that will try to hold us down. We don't need to do that to ourselves. Each one of us, we are imbued with divine light, with divine presence. And we are meant to soar like the eagle. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen.
This song is called "Oh Freedom." It's a Negro spiritual that was composed and sung by the enslaved African Americans in our country right after the Civil War. Two of the things that are unique and consistent with spirituals, they always connect, they always bring hope. And by singing, it helps their spirits to soar. Oh, freedom. As soon as I turn the page.
Oh boy, that's profound.
Or push the rock up the hill, either one. Oh, well. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. But there'll be singing, there'll be singing, oh, there'll be singing over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. And there'll be singing, there'll be shouting, oh, there'll be shouting over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in a grave and go home to my Lord and be free.
Thank you, Elaine. Let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place, which is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and of hope, for we are now keepers of the dream. This month, we are sharing our offering plate with GreenFaith. Because the earth and all people are sacred and at risk, GreenFaith is building a worldwide, multi-faith climate and environmental movement. Together, our members create communities to transform ourselves, our spiritual institutions, and society to protect the planet and create a compassionate, loving, and just world. Our hosts will now pass the baskets around, and we ask that you pass the baskets down your row when you receive it. You may place your gift in the baskets as they make their way around the room. You're also always welcome to give online at puuc.org or by texting PUUC to the number 73256. Today's offering will now be gratefully received.
Ubi caritas et amor, ubi caritas Deus ibi est, ubi caritas et amor, ubi caritas Deus ibi est. When charity and love abound, there is love. When charity and love abound, there is love. Ubi caritas et amor, ubi caritas Deus ubi est.
We give thanks for all these generous gifts given from your heart so that we might go forth from this place and continue to share light and love. I invite you now to please rise and body your spirit for our closing hymn. And it is found in our great hymnal, number 126, Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing. Now, before we extinguish our chalice, I offer thanks for all the many volunteers who helped make our service possible today. And I also ask if you can take the hymnals once the service is concluded and place them on the cart near the piano. That's a big help as well. So let's take just a moment, as we do each Sunday, and give thanks, either in our hearts or with words for others to hear, for all the things for which we are grateful today.
I'm thankful for the church and your message today.
Thank you. Gail's thankful for our church and for the message. Thank you.
I'm grateful to hear Elaine play her guitar and sing and sing.
So grateful for Elaine and her wonderful musical gifts and sharing them with us.
Thankful for everyone that came out and supported the Salisbury Pride yesterday.
Yeah. Thankful for everyone who supported Salisbury Pride yesterday. We had a wonderful, it was a little bit warm, but we had a wonderful turnout and just had some great conversations with a lot of people.
I am thankful for our tech team.
Yes, thankful for our tech team. They're wonderful.
I'm thankful for our union being back and having vacation.
Oh, thank you, Randy. I'm glad to be back too. So, well, I'm thankful for this place of beauty and love and grace, which we all can truly grow into who we are meant to be with this wonderful support here. Now, I invite us to now go forth, wings unfurled from what has bound us, and ready to soar. Now, we now extinguish our chalice, but we carry its light with us, its warmth and its meaning. We carry with us until we meet again. May we go in peace, believe in peace, create peace wherever we may wander. May it be so. Now, for our closing song, we form a circle, and you may hold hands if you would like to, or you may simply place your hands on your heart. Oh, and just before we do that, one more thing. That's it.
Big Red Bus is out here, but we have a little bit of a problem because they didn't bring the buses about last year. And so this is an older bus, it's lower, and it can't get up. So it's in the second parking lot, not the first parking lot.
Okay.
There's cars in that parking lot. Jeff and I were out there, we don't think
Okay. For,
Sorry about, and you don't need to leave now, it's gonna be here for a while.
yeah. So anyone who's watching online, if you're planning to come give blood, the big red bus is actually in the second parking lot, and we do have a few cars, but we're gonna maneuver that, so. And if you haven't thought about giving blood and you're watching online, you've got time, please come join us. We'll be here till 3 o'clock, I think. Okay.